Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
Health insurance, the biggest subject, and especially when you're over 65, you really need to be careful what you choose. And I've told so many people that my husband and I have always been with United American because we felt that, years ago when people all jumped into HMOs and they had all sorts of complaints, and I never had the complaint. And even though my husband had some very major surgery in hips and knees and never had a problem, and I used to look at the money that was spent. It was just absolutely amazing. So I want to get an expert. It's the owner of the Ahlbum Insurance Group, and it's John Ahlbum, and he's really an expert. He's been in this. How long have you been in this, John?
I've been doing Medicare now for 26 years.
And did you start with United American?
I got licensed with United American my second year that I had my insurance license.
And why did you do that? When you were kind of a newbie in a sense, you could have done it with anyone. What made you want to go to United American?
Actually, it was a couple of agents I was working with, and they said, for Medicare, there's no company better than United American. And so I got appointed with United American, and when I started, I was doing kind of a combination of final expense and Medicare, and then I gravitated into basically 100% Medicare market. And I've stuck with them because they're kind of like, in a way, family, if you can imagine that. When you call the home office, they know you. Their whole emphasis in business right now is really Medicare. That's probably 90% of what United American does as an insurance company is Medicare supplements. And they've been doing it since Medicare started. So they're obviously doing something right.
Obviously. What is really the history of United American? Who started it, and what can you tell us about it?
United American was founded in 1947, right after World War II.
Oh, my heavens.
As a company doing supplements, not Medicare, because Medicare wasn't, even thought of at that point. But they did supplements to health and cancer policies and things like that. So they've always been basically a supplemental provider. And then when Medicare came along, it just made sense, and they offered one of the first Medicare supplements when Medicare started. And what I find interesting is that things that they offered voluntarily way back in 52 years ago are still part of the standardized Medicare supplement policies, because a lot of companies just offered maybe one or two benefits. And United American was the one that started with a whole list of benefits for both medical and hospital, and have continued, and then in 1992, all the supplements were standardized so that every company offered the same benefits.
Well, thinking about that, so that was quite brave of them, because they had to really pay out a lot of money when other people weren't doing that, but they just believed that if they stuck with it, it would work out?
I believe that must have been their thinking. What I think back to is when I started with them in 1996, one of the biggest referrals that I ever got was from doctors' offices.
Oh. Because
the doctors themselves had United American. And they would tell their patients that were turning 65 or just starting Medicare, or, maybe wanting to change from what they currently had, that United American was the company that they had and the company they recommended.
Did a doctor start the United American? Why?
No, it's just that they knew that it covered basically everything that they needed to be covered for a patient. and they were also very impressed with how quickly they got paid.
Yep. Yeah, that's absolutely what the doctors say. And the reason I know that is because so many times, and I resent it a lot for other people who don't have United American Away, the first thing when you want to make an appointment, before they even talk about anything, is what kind of insurance do you have? That's the next question. And I don't like that, actually, for people. I'm sorry that it just seems that's my other side, that's my liberal side that says, wait a minute. Let's get down to what you need. And then, but for me, of course, it works well because I get any appointment, anything I want, because I'm a United American, insurance person, holder.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell everybody, if you're really interested in this, you want to know more, John Ahlbum is the founder and owner of the Ahlbum Insurance Group, and they're located in Margate, but you don't have to go there. All you have to do is make one phone call, and get your pencils out because I'm going to tell you that phone number. And I think more than ever now, you need to get the best kind of insurance. And the phone number is 954-970-4760. That's 954-970-4760. Now, John, this really is a senior policy. If someone wanted insurance and they weren't a senior, do you carry that?
Well, all companies now in Florida legally have to provide or offer a under 65 Medicare supplement for people who are on Medicare disability.
Ah.
And it varying. So some companies offer one or two policies, some offer it across the board. The problem is that the claims loss on the under 65 is a lot heavier than the claims loss ratio on 65 and older. So the premiums on the under 65 are higher.
Oh.
But we do offer it, and other companies offer it. But I think we're seeing less people. Maybe we're just getting called less. I don't know, but less people on Medicare disability than there used to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know much about Medicare disability. So these are people who are under 65, but they have serious ailments?
Yeah, they've been determined by Medicare and by Social Security to be disabled.
I see.
And after they've been on Social Security for 2 years, then they're eligible for Medicare.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's another complicated story. So I know I would say so many of our listeners are Medicare eligible, but maybe there are some who are also not eligible because they're too young. So I told you the phone number. So if you're confused, and you have a right to be confused about insurance, it wouldn't hurt to call the Ahlbum Insurance Group because they're very nice people. They don't put you off. They don't, make you hold on the line and then wait 10 minutes and then never get back to you. They're homespun. They're really nice people. And the whole family's involved in it. And so let me give you the number again. It's 954-970-4760. And the way you say Ahlbum is AHLBUM. AHLBUM. Okay, so let's just talk about insurance, Medicare insurance. And so now it's actually August. And when do people get to change? So people are on, let's say, a policy now, an HMO. Do they have to wait to change to a policy like yours? How does that work?
Well, there's two ways they can do it. One, they can wait until the open enrollment period, which starts October 15th and runs till December 7th. Or if they're very upset, maybe they've been declined some type of service or procedure, or they've lost their doctor or, something else, and they feel that they've been misled, that they, the company or the plan that they had said it would do this for them, and now it's not doing it. There is a clause in the Medicare rules that allow them, if they feel that they've been misled, to use that as a rule, trial rule they call it, to disenroll from their HMO or PPO, whatever they're on, and return to traditional Medicare at the beginning of the next month.
And so, and when you say traditional, that's yours?
Yes, that's regular traditional Medicare, and then a supplement and, a standalone prescription plan.
Okay, and let's get. Well, I'm glad you brought that up. Standalone prescription. Now, I don't even know what I have. I guess I didn't have a prescription plan for many years because I never was on drugs, but I guess I should have done it because I waited, and then what they did is they made me pay a fee for all those years that I didn't take it, which was infuriating, but I understand it now because they wanted everyone to share in the expenses, and I didn't think about that. I should have done it. But I don't know how this happened, but I wound up taking it with another company. So if I wanted to change and have it with you, how would I do that?
Okay, we don't offer a drug plan anymore. There are 21 choices.
I see.
In Florida, at least in 2018 there's 21 choices. I don't know how many there'll be in 2019. There may be more, there may be less. But every year during the open enrollment period, make a note and I'll make a note to call you too, Anita, to check and see what your prescription list is, and I can run it on the Medicare website and see if there's something that would work better for you, as far as copays and everything else are concerned.
I'm not on any medication, so I don't even...
You're not on medication?
No, I'm not on anything.
Okay.
The only thing happens
good.
every once in a while, I have to take an antibiotic, and it's interesting. I think that some of the drugstores let you have an antibiotic for free. I don't know why that's true. Why is that true?
We also have now, we offer it's a benefit to all of our policyholders. It's a discount prescription deal where we can check and see if that particular prescription is available at a, much reduced price, and then we can get you a free membership to the discount program.
I see. Well, now, don't I carry something with me then?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I thought I do. When I go to the drugstore, there is something that reduces.
Yes, you have a discount for yours too.
Right, and then my husband had the same thing, because he was on a lot of prescriptions, and so it was always reduced. Well, it's always been confusing to me, but what I said to people who are listening to the radio station here is that when you do call the Ahlbum Group, people are very friendly and they're very helpful. They're not going to put you off like a lot of times you get to someone and it's just a phone person and you're lucky if they call you back, or, it's just terrible. But you're not going to have that when you call and when you speak to the Ahlbum Group. I'm just going to assure you that. So let me give that phone number again. It's 954-970-4760. Okay, so getting back to what we were talking about. So if somebody now is on an HMO and they decide that they don't have the right doctor, they're just not getting what they want, they can actually go, and of course this costs money. It's not HMOs. A lot of them are free, or they have, I guess, co-payments. I don't have co-payments with you. You know that.
Right.
I just choose my doctor, but I do pay a fee every month. But the fee for me is really worth having the leisure and the experience of finding a great doctor, not having to call first, make an appointment with someone at the insurance company. Can I get this? And then the thing annoys me, I'll tell you that, is that you have people, and maybe they're more professional, but I just think a lot of people decide, okay, you can go, no, you can't go. I mean, am I wrong?
No, you're right. And, there's just so many changes in the Medicare Advantage every year, where doctors drop out of it, or they drop doctors, hospitals drop out. In fact, something that is kind of startling to me, but all of the University of Miami medical centers and hospitals and everything, as of January, will no longer accept any AARP Advantage plan.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wonder what happened there.
Something contractually, somebody didn't want to pay, or somebody wanted too much money, or something. I don't know what happened, but it happens a lot. And the other thing is that with a supplement, like you and I both have, if, God forbid, something happened to us, like cancer, and we wanted to go to one of the specialist cancer hospitals, like MD Anderson, or as an example, they don't accept any Advantage plans, but they welcome supplements.
Ah, wow.
So, or things, the other things. You need to go to a specialist clinic or something somewhere, maybe in the Midwest. With a supplement, you can go. With an Advantage plan, you usually can't go.
Yeah, they don't tell you that.
No, they don't.
Yeah, but listen, it comes down to it to be able to afford it too. There are people who, if they don't have money and they have to do what they can do, and thank goodness there is something for them. But
I totally agree.
Yeah, but sometimes people spend money on other things, and I guess I would do something drastic if I couldn't afford to have the United American, so that I would be able to pay for it. And the interesting thing is that I don't think, maybe I'm wrong, but all the years that I've had the United American Insurance, I don't think that you've raised the rates very much, if anything.
Actually, our rates went down in June 7.6%.
Huh.
Instead of going up like everything else that they went down. So
now that's really unusual. That's very nice. I guess that's very fair, actually, when you think of it, that they were making enough to cover what they expected and making more than they expected, and they probably wanted to offer it to people who maybe couldn't afford what they had, and they said, well, maybe we can get some more people in. That's probably their thinking, wasn't it?
I believe so. And also, the Medicare has a kind of a ratio that they try to get companies to stay with, and it's a claims loss ratio, and 65% of what their premium is supposed to be paid back out in claims.
Oh.
So if the ratio goes down, then they have to readjust premiums. If the ratio goes way up, then legally they're supposed to raise premiums. Some companies do, some don't. And they just kind of play, some of the companies play some tremendous games with claims loss ratios and claims and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Our biggest, I think, what caused the rate decrease with United American is the popularity of our high deductible plan, which offers full Medicare benefits, but it has a $2,200 deductible this year. And it's gone up a little bit every year, deductible-wise. But for somebody that's healthy and goes to the doctor maybe once a year, they know that they're covered. They have a stop loss at, at $2,200 and a very low premium. And because of that, United American's claim loss ratio was lower, so that they were able to actually give money back to every policyholder, or reduce their premiums to every policyholder.
That's pretty unheard
Not
of.
just the ones that have the high deductible plan.
Right. That's really excellent. Well, it's certainly being run well, and you told us that it started in the 1940s, I believe, and
yes,
and that says a lot. I have other insurance which really works for me, not for health, but because Bill was a veteran, the USAA, and that insurance is not. It's not really for profit. It's get what they call it. And at the end of the year, I get a check back.
Well, that's great.
Are you a veteran?
No, my grandfather died in World War II. My stepfather was a 32-year Navy veteran.
Well, they could have gotten that insurance.
They had it, and my mother had it, and actually my mother gave me a number that I can use if I ever needed it. So
that's right. Well, my car insurance is so reduced because of them, and I've renter's insurance, and that's reduced. It's not a lot of money, and when you have an accident in the car, boy, do they take care of you.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, it's true. So, yeah, one time we had exotic cars, and the insurance was so expensive. And so the reason I mention this is because I've somehow been very attracted to insurance companies that are really responsible, equitable. They do the best they can, and that's where I call, United American. That's in my, that's in my little bucket, my bucket list.
That's great. But I agree with you.
Yeah.
And an insurance company should be responsive to their policyholders. And
well, we know all about that. I'll tell you something that I heard, that there was a company, Bankers, a long time ago. Bankers Life was started by John D. MacArthur. You probably know that story.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the story? That
I think so.
I think it was $1. He sent out cards all over the country. It was $1 a month, something. And he guaranteed, you could have health insurance or whatever. But unfortunately, he didn't do what he said. Now, the reason they made so much money, of course, and that's where all that money came from, because I know that because Bill was president of all the John D. MacArthur properties in Florida, and so there were big stories there. So see, some insurance companies just took advantage of people. And that's why many had a bad reputation. It's like, oh, he's an insurance salesman. Oh, right. But I've never felt that way about you, and I don't even know how I first found out about United American. Maybe Bill did. I don't remember. But it was the greatest decision I think that we made. And other people, who are listening now, and if you can do something like this, I think you'd be very pleased. And you have to give yourself a chance. Listen, you have to go and shop. I know you do. So what you ought to do is call the Ahlbum Insurance Group, which is, get your pencils out, it's 954-970-4760. Just call them and you can ask them the questions, and then you can match whatever else you want to do. But just be sure that you understand all the benefits, and there are a lot of them. I know that you've been saying that, and I was looking at the advertising, and you talk about, some of the, it's the largest writers of individual Medicare supplement insurance. They really knew what they were doing back in the 40s. And are they still around?
The original people?
Yeah.
No, I think they're long gone.
Oh, okay. And so is this, I guess, it's not on the stock market, is it? On the stock exchange?
It's a part of Torchmark, which is a insurance holding company. And Torchmark is on the stock exchange.
It's called Torchmark, Torchmark?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so they have other kind of insurance?
It's all insurance. There's United American. There is American Income.
Oh, I see.
And 2 or 3 other different companies that are a part of it.
Uh-huh. Okay, well, I can only tell you that whatever they've done, they're being very responsible. And remember, you don't have to wait. You might wait until that November date. That's for everybody. But if you want to do something with them now, I know that new people who haven't now set up their insurance yet, if they're 65 or I don't know how that works, that they get their choice now. That anytime you haven't had insurance yet and you're in your 65, they can then get it ahead of time.
Exactly. That's another unique thing that United American does. They keep an open enrollment for 6 months before a person turns 65, and up to 6 months after. So that it's basically a year that somebody's offered guaranteed issue rights.
Huh. Okay. Now, can someone have insurance if they've had illnesses? I mean, how do you base that?
Well, if they're just starting, if they're just turning 65,
Right.
then they're guaranteed issue / open enrollment. So none of the illnesses or anything that pre-existing has any weight at all on them being accepted.
Uh-huh. Because that's how it is with HMOs. But
Right.
you do that also.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and also somebody leaving an HMO or a PPO and taking advantage of the trial rule that we talked about because they feel that they've been misled,
Uh-huh.
they actually qualify for guaranteed issue rights if they need it.
Hmm. Okay.
So if they have something medically that would preclude them from being accepted normally, using the trial rule, they can be accepted.
Okay, that's great. Well, John, I know that you're on vacation, but of course you're always accessible. And I want everyone to know that it's the Ahlbum Insurance Group. It's AHLBUM, and it's 954-970-4760. John, it's been such a pleasure. It always is talking to you. I'm always then assured that I've done the right thing. So thank you. Say hello to your wife and your son.
I sure will, and thank you, Anita. And
You're welcome.
be in touch.
Okay. Thank you, John. Be safe.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.